There we are.
Did it work?
I think so.
Oh,
Hello, everyone. I got to
wow.
switch over to comments
There you
here.
go.
I see a whole bunch of comments have come through in that short amount of little time of
All
our
right.
intro.
Great.
So happy New Year, everyone.
Hello in 2024.
Oh my gosh.
So happy to be here.
I want to thank everyone that made it to tonight's live chat because we are a week behind normal schedule.
So we have been without you for 3 weeks.
Yes.
It's been a long time since we've seen you guys.
It was a nice break. It was a wonderful
good holidays.
Christmas.
We had a great Christmas.
Very
nice and quiet.
Yeah.
Exactly.
New Year's was really super quiet.
It was amazing to go out on our deck and see all the fireworks from our deck just throughout the valley.
We just stayed home,
cool.
watched TV, watched all the, the television shows on regular TV and just enjoyed the evening quietly. And
now we are really excited to be back with you guys to talk about your trip to Alaska.
It's getting real, folks.
It really is.
We are now officially in the new year. Camping reservations have started to open up for several organizations.
Correct.
And you're going to be here in like 5 months. Holy cow.
Wow.
Maybe.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Are you ready? Because
I don't know if I'm ready, but I'm going to try.
I am.
Let's just check in, see who all is online here.
Wow.
I see that we've got Amanda White, one of our moderators.
Hey, Amanda.
She lives down in Taylor, BC. And if you're going up the Alaskan, about 30 miles from the start, outside of Dawson Creek, is Taylor. And Amanda actually works at the Taylor Visitor Center. So stop in. She'll give you a free magnet.
She loves to have visitors.
She loves visitors. And we love her for everything that she does, as well as our other moderators, which I see Madison is online coming to us from Texas.
All right. Nice and warm down there, I'm assuming. That's great.
I see someone from our old neighborhood, Whiz on Kiz.
Whiz on Kiz.
Whiz on Kiz.
Okay, that's
Chatteroy, Washington.
I know exactly where Chatteroy is. Great place.
That's just north of where we went to high school. So welcome.
Yes.
We have Jorge again from Miami.
He's been around a bit. Thank you, Jorge, for joining us again.
Barbara Marks watching from Quartzsite.
Hey,
the big Quartzite
the show's coming up real soon in the next week or so, I think.
I believe the Tampa RV show.
Should be just after that, I think.
Anyone is coming to us from Tampa.
Oh, I don't know.
We've got Rick Larson in Wisconsin.
Okay.
Leanne is coming from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
Nice.
What do we got? Chris Tucker from Houston, the other Houston.
The other smaller Houston.
Houston, Texas. Dawn and Neva Reimel.
Hello, Reimel.
Hi, guys. Linda Lewis, Big Family Expedition. Julie Dudley. Lots of comments coming in.
And
Bonnie and George.
I'm sure some of you are also kind of got one eye on us and one eye on the big football game going on.
I really appreciate that you're watching us and not those Huskies.
Well,
sorry,
go Michigan. We're from Washington, but
from Eastern Washington. We grew up. We were bred to love the Cougars, which is Washington State University.
Not the Huskies.
I'm
sorry, not the Huskies. Yeah.
I just have to be sad though, because my alma mater, University of Montana, played in the national championship yesterday for a smaller division, and we lost.
Lost to South Dakota. That was a tough loss.
It was. They didn't show up.
But right now, the Washington Huskies are down 3-17 against Michigan. Go Michigan.
Go Michigan?
Yeah. That's hard to say, but yeah.
Anyways, football is a lot of fun, but we are here to talk about Alaska. So
I'll turn my phone off, I guess.
That'd be nice.
Okay.
All right. So I just want to remind everyone, just a couple of housekeeping. Maybe cleaning. No,
you're not very good at
that. Whatever. Anyway, we have got, like I said, I'm kind of getting back into the groove of working daily on the Facebook group. So
the holidays kind of got in the way, didn't they?
A little bit. They always do.
They always do.
But if you haven't joined, please do so. You can find us on Facebook as a group called RVing to Alaska, the original. Be sure to enter those questions to join the group.
You mean answer the questions?
Answer the questions.
Yeah.
Our team of moderators will make sure you're a real person and then let you in. And that's where we do all this fun discussing of trip planning. We still have our consulting service available to you. That is new this year, where you can get one-on-one time with Gary and I, where we help you plan your itinerary or things to do. It's basically you pick our brain for 1 hour. Whatever you want to talk about, we will.
They've been very great. We've really enjoyed every one of our consultation sessions. I think we're really making their trips better, and we can try to make your trip better too, if you allow us.
Yep. Also, we have our RVing to Alaska decals. These are $10 each on our website. I send them out every day whenever I have orders. So get those when you know you're still somewhere that I can get it to you. Well, you leave on your trip and then what do? You've got to, you're in Alaska and get from me.
We can generally ship it within 5 to 7 days to Florida from here?
5 business days.
5 business days to Florida from Alaska. So that's pretty good. U.S. Postal Service.
My deadline is by noon because I have to get these to the post office by 2 p.m. So get your orders in and I'll get them out as soon as possible. And then last but not least, we have our rally coming up. I'm really digging in, starting to plan that. And if you want more information, you can go to our rally website at rv2akrally.com and find out more. We also have now a group event on Facebook, or a rally event on Facebook, so you can find it there. And tickets will go on sale March 1st.
It's still a long time off, but there's a lot of planning to go. We have to figure out pricing and all that. So it's going to take a little bit for us to figure all that out before we can really open up the tickets for sale.
And if you are a business that's associated with RV related items or a business here in Alaska and you would like exposure at the rally, please go ahead and go to the website too. I've got a link just for you and how you can get involved and be a sponsor of our rally.
Right. Get your name on our t-shirt or get your name in the brochure or whatever we have associated with the rally. We can help that business out.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But today, this is our first talk where we are going to just talk about spotlighting an area.
Right.
And this is going to be for the rest of the winter, how we will run our live chats. So tonight we are talking about the interior and what I've kind of based it on the interior triangle. Basically, when you enter into the state of Alaska by the road system, you're going to come into Tok. That is your first town. You're basically your gateway into Alaska, and from Tok.
Wow, Tok really is the gateway to Alaska.
It is, and you can go
on the road
different
system.
directions.
Yeah, you can.
You can go back towards Canada. You can go up to Chicken. You can go over to Delta Junction.
You can go
in
down to
Fairbanks,
Glennallen,
or go down south to Glennallen and head your way either to Valdez or Anchorage. So it truly is the gateway of Alaska.
I wonder if they know that. Does Tok know that?
I'm pretty sure they do.
They probably do.
Yep.
They have it all covered. They know what they're doing up there in Tok.
So Tok is what should we just start there?
Sure, we're here.
Okay.
We're there. Well,
so,
we're not, but yeah.
Tok is about 90 miles from the United States-Canadian border as you enter. Some people don't understand. In fact, I had someone, not putting you on the spot, he personally
if you don't say his name, you're not putting him on the spot.
And I don't remember his name. But he's like, do I have to go through Tok if I take the coastal route up? I thought there would be a more direct route to Anchorage. And I'm like, well, no.
That's it.
Any way you come in on the road system through the Yukon, you are going to end up in Tok.
If you do top of the world, you might hit Chicken first and then Tok.
Yep. And we are actually going to talk about Chicken at our very last live chat in April, because that one is all about off the pavement destinations.
There's a lot of off the pavement areas.
So we'll talk about Chicken and Eagle later. But yeah, back to Tok. Tok is I wouldn't say very small. It's small.
It is.
It's going to be one of the smaller communities that you visit while you're here. It's also going to be your first opportunity for groceries.
Hmm.
So we have a small chain grocery store up here called Three
Right.
Bears, Alaska. And so there is a Three Bears in Tok.
And it's a big, well, a small, big grocery store chain within the state.
And what's really nice about them is they are actually supplied by Costco. So you're going to find a lot of Kirkland brand
Mhm.
products there. A lot of things you can find at Costco, you can find in the smaller communities where there isn't a Costco.
Mhm.
So if you like the Kirkland brand toilet paper or some of their munchies, you're going to find it there.
Right.
The only thing is you're not going to find the Costco pricing. It is a little
Right.
more expensive.
You have to pay for the service that they provide.
Exactly. But it's nice to have those
It sure is.
conveniences.
Yep.
A lot of the stuff they sell in bulk, they actually break down into the units. So, for
Right.
example, the toilet paper, when you buy it at Costco, you get it in that huge 36 roll pack, right? In six rolls per inside
Right.
package.
Yep.
So they'll sell those 6 rolls or the big one.
And like the milk, in Costco, you can buy the two gallons of milk. Well, they break it down to 1 gallon each, so you can buy just 1 gallon of Costco milk. And I
So
think our price here is like 5 and change a gallon. So I mean, it's not that bad.
I wouldn't know. You do our grocery
I
shopping.
know. That's why I said that. 'Cause-
Ah. Also in Tok, you're going to be able to find your first outside of Whitehorse. There's going to be a Napa Auto
Mhm.
Parts. You're going to have tire stores if you need some work done. So it is a nice stop
Yep.
if you're having issues.
There are repairs available, repair
Mhm.
facilities available. They may not look like what you're used to seeing in the lower 48, but they will be able to perform the services that you need.
Yeah, another thing I would say about Tok, there's not very many restaurants, but
Go for Fast Eddie's.
there's a few to point out.
Mhm.
Fast Eddie's, as Gary just said, that is almost everyone stops
Mhm.
at Fast Eddie's either on their entry or their exit, and it's great. Sit down after you've done that Destruction Bay to Tok Road.
And the 90 miles into Tok.
It's
Some of the
it's
worst.
nice to go in and have a nice meal. They have really great pizza. They have a good selection of beers on tap.
Well, their salad bar is very respectable.
They have a nice salad bar.
Mm-hmm.
One of my favorites is the fried mushrooms.
Don't order 2 orders of fried mushrooms. 1 order is plenty.
It is huge. I mean, we are talking dinner plate size plus.
Washington State scored a touchdown.
Okay, thanks for the update.
I'm sorry, not
there.
Washington State, but Washington Huskies scored.
Let's see. At one of the campgrounds, Sourdough
Mhm.
Campground, they do have a cafe where they serve breakfast in the mornings. I believe that will come back next year.
And it has been sourdough pancakes and bacon and eggs and such. It's been very good. I think they have reindeer sausage as well.
Also, back by Fast Eddie's, there's a nice little lounge called the Bear Den Lounge.
Mhm.
And we went in there last spring
Had a
and
few
had a
drinks.
beverage. So you can find a lot of gift shops in Tok.
A couple of gift
And
shops. Yeah, there's
Yep.
a visitor center there.
a lot of people use Tok as just a kind of relax from the road,
Mhm.
take a day, regroup. Some people just fly right through it. I'd like to stop there. It's a great stopping point if you want to push on, say, to Anchorage or the Kenai. It's a great place to stop and rest.
There are also several RV wash stations available in the area.
A lot of the campgrounds have
and
them.
campgrounds have them too. And that's a great time to take a break and wash your RV, get some of the road grime off. Because you don't want to have that road grime on there for too long.
And I'm going to actually say, I think Tok is one of the most populous places for car washes.
Yeah.
You're going to find it
There's
at
like 4 of
almost
them.
every gas station, almost every campground, because they understand it's time to get that road muck off from coming up the Alcan
Yep.
and get your rig
And
clean.
can I plug one specific that we've stayed at? That's a Sorrel.
Yeah.
So the Tesoro gas station, which is about a mile past the intersection.
I believe it's called Northern Lights Tesoro.
Sure.
Yes, it's a
Um,
mile past on the Alaska Highway.
if you
Past
do
the
a
junction.
fuel fill up, whether it's your truck or your camp or a motorhome or whatever it is, they'll allow you a free car wash, RV wash. So you can simply fill up your truck for 20 gallons
Or your motorhome.
or your motorhome
for 100.
and wash your rig for free.
Also free dump and
Mhm.
free water there.
Yeah. Great little place.
Someone is asking, Dawn is at, I forgot I can put them up on the screen.
There you go.
Here we go.
Rusty
How
now.
is the availability of diesel, gasoline, and DEF and Tok? And you're going to find that everywhere.
Everywhere it's perfectly, amazingly fine.
There's a Chevron station, there's a Vitus, there's a Three Bears, there's the Tesoro that we just mentioned. You're going to find all the big name brands, and sometimes you will end up choosing where you want to go. Where you want to go, depending on which one is the least busy.
Right. That's the truth right there.
So the Three Bears, the Chevron, and the Vitus are all kind of in town center. And they tend to be slammed. And so that's why sometimes we go up to the Tesoro, which is a mile outside of town.
And they seem to be a little bit less expensive most of the time.
They can be.
Yeah.
But just not having the pressure, especially when you have a longer rig, sometimes it's a little hectic.
Right.
And you can tell that, oh my gosh, everyone is there at the same time for the same thing. And some people aren't as pleasant.
Right. It's an experience when you're in the middle of Tok and dealing with all those people refueling with you as well.
It's like a soup sandwich.
It's a there's another SS term you could use too, but soup sandwich works for this one.
Yes.
And now with DEF, diesel exhaust fluid, for those of you that drive more modern diesel vehicles, we don't have DEF available like you would find at a truck stop in the lower 48. It's all available in the 2.5 gallon jugs that you'll have to fill into your tank. You can't find it in a dispenser like a fuel dispenser. There's like 1 or 2 locations that have that, and there's specific style of it's not offered very much.
The reason why is the freeze point at
Right.
DEF. It freezes at extremely low temperatures. And Tok, anywhere in Alaska, it gets extremely cold.
Right.
And so there's only, I think we know of 2 places.
There's 2 places that have actual dispensers for DEF fluid.
And that's because they heat
yep,
the
yep.
pump. So everywhere else, you've got to get it in a jug.
And you can find those jugs almost every gas station, every automotive stop, all the grocery stores have that DEF fluid. It's not a hard product to find.
No. And Linda asks, do they all take credit cards? And yes, absolutely.
We're still in the United States of America. We take credit cards.
Another quick question. I think going back to Three Bears, do you need a Costco card for Three Bears? And no, that's why it's not quite Costco pricing. Anyone can go into the Three Bears and shop, and you're going to find them. They're really branching out. You're going to find them all over Alaska, but especially you will find them outside of Anchorage and Fairbanks where Costco's actually are. So there's 2 Costco's in Anchorage and 1 in Fairbanks. So anywhere else, you may see a Three Bears along the way, and know that you can still get Costco products.
And
from
they're popping up everywhere. Three Bears has really, really been growing.
What is this? Is it less busy during the 3rd week of May in Tok?
Probably not, Don.
Well, 3rd week. I mean,
it's still early, I guess.
It's early.
Yeah.
So usually, just like everywhere else in Alaska, most of the campgrounds are going to be fully open, functional, and operational by Memorial Day weekend. 3rd day week, if they're not open, if anything, you can park without, say, water hookups. It's always weather dependent as to when they turn on their water. The interior, the interior is mostly on the north side of the Alaskan range. And so that is where the extreme cold temps happen in the winter.
Right.
So they tend to be, well, I'm going to take this back because
But it goes the other way in the spring and summer.
in the spring and summer,
Yeah,
they're
they warm up a
warmer.
little quicker.
And so it just kind of depends when they break out of their hibernation. But regardless, campgrounds will start allowing early travelers come in, and if they're not fully open, you can still park. You just might not be able to hook up to
Right.
their water.
Right.
Or
And
dump.
I think Don was referring to the fuel stations more than anything.
Oh, Tok is a 24
24/7, 365 kind of place.
They're always open because
And they're
that
always busy.
is, as I said, the gateway
Yep.
into Alaska. There's still people coming in and out up the Alaska Highway 365 days out of the year.
Right.
It's a very, very busy
But
road.
May is early, and you'll find that it won't be as busy in May as it will be in June and July and August.
Also, you may, speaking of that, it's not hard to go in and find, there's enough RV parks and big RV parks
Oh, yeah.
to just go in and ask for a site upon
Arrival.
showing up. You might, when you're washing your rig or getting fuel or supplies, call around, see who's available, who has space. But it's very easy to get a same day reservation if you want to get on
Right.
to hookups. A couple campgrounds that we have stayed at and we really like, again, Sourdough Campground.
That's a great one.
They're a mile south or about 2 miles south on the Tok Cut-off as if you're going towards Anchorage. And then right before the junction, right next to Fast Eddie's, is Tok RV Village and Cabins. And that is another great park. Huge, lots of parking. You
Walking
should have
distance to Fast Eddie's.
that is a bonus.
Yep.
They are walking distance from the store,
And the Bear's Den.
the bar,
The bar.
and the restaurant. So anything else? Like I said, there's lots of little gift shops in Tok.
It is a really kind of a cute community, and it does. I mean, it spreads beyond just the roads, just the main roads. I mean, there are a lot of side roads and all that, but those are mainly all residential. Most of all the business and infrastructure is within
On the main drag.
main drag.
If you do have a tow vehicle, park for the day and then
Right.
go do a drive and go visit some of the gift shops.
And Tok is also where Wolf Hawk Shipping is. If for those of you who are shipping your guns, your handguns north through up beyond Canada, Tok is where you will receive your handguns at Wolf Hawk Shipping, and also Three Bears does that service as well.
No, Three Bears does
Three
not.
Bears does not.
No.
Oh,
They I do not
We'll have to-
recommend
okay.
shipping through Three Bears.
and I wasn't positive about that. That's why I kind of questioning
Yeah,
it.
I know why you're questioning because we had asked when we were there
Mhm.
several years ago. I solely only recommend Wolf Hawk
Right.
gun shipping. If
And we have used their service, Wolf Hawk Shipping, and it has been a very good service, and we do suggest that.
so, that's for another day, another video. And we also have a playlist that we highlight them.
Mhm.
But yeah, they are in Tok and they now have their own building
Right,
right on
a
the main
storefront
strip.
on Main Street. That's great.
Yeah, it used to be out of their house,
Mhm.
and so now it's not, which makes it a lot
It
easier
sure does.
for the travelers, both inbound and outbound.
Now let's continue from Tok. We're going to go up the
Well,
Alcan a little bit.
No, let's go south.
You want to go south? You want to
We'll
take the
do
cutoff?
a clockwise rotation
right.
around the interior triangle, is what I'm calling it.
All right. So we're gonna take a left turn on the Tok Cut-off.
Yep, which I've done a post on this. A lot of people are saying, well, what highway number is that? And you're going to learn Alaska highways.
I don't know.
We don't go by numbers, we go by names. I'm looking at my cheat sheet here, and
It's a
actually,
map.
the
It's not a
Tok
cheat sheet.
Cutoff. Yeah, it's a milepost map
There
that
you
you
go.
get for free when you buy a milepost.
2023s aren't available till March.
Um,
2024 is not available till March.
So it would be highway number 1, which really snakes all the way across the road system down to the Kenai. But for locals and for travelers, we call it the Tok Cutoff. And that basically goes from Tok to Glennallen,
Mhm.
or just north of Glennallen. This road used to be very notorious for really bumpy, bad
it had a
frost
really bad
heaves.
rap.
It still has a few sections that are quite bumpy,
Right.
but you've already done Destruction Bay, so you're an expert and you'll know how to read it by then.
You'll see those white lines doing the weird things in the road.
And the yellow lines squiggling across.
I think there are actually more smooth spots now on the Tok Cut-off than there were even when we came up in 19.
Well, during the pandemic, they repaved
Yes,
a
a
good
lot of it.
southern portion of it,
Yep.
so it has greatly improved.
It has.
I wouldn't be afraid of it. If you
No.
read back on our past groups, there's a lot of hate in that part of the road, and it's not. It's not.
Hate's a hard word. It's
Well,
just,
it gets a lot of
yeah.
bad
it gets a bad rap.
publicity.
Publicity?
Yep.
Yeah, publicity.
Publicity. Sometimes I have trouble with large words. Citizen.
There you go.
I've learned how to say that in our 15 years of being
Yeah,
together.
I think so.
Anyways, back to the Tok Cut-off. You're gonna also see from about when you enter Tok and coming down that road, I want to point out that this is Otna land.
Otna.
Otna
Explain
is
what
a
Otna
native
is.
corporation, and they own a lot of the land right up against the road system. And I want to caution you to be respectful of their signs. And if you see, they're typically orange and squarish, and they'll be about every 100 to 200 yards on trees. And it's basically saying that don't trespass. If you see a pullout and it has those signs, just keep moving on. We want to be respectful of the native lands in Alaska. That is actually their property.
So
We don't have.
You're going to go into the explanation of
Well,
reservation versus.
We don't have
First Nation.
reservations up here.
Right.
This is actually their sovereign land, their private property, and we want to be very respectful of that when visiting.
Right.
And I wish that was something someone had really told us when we first came up in 17, because we didn't understand that. And so just be respectful. If you see a no trespassing sign or an Otna land sign, just be respectful of it. Move on. Don't tromp on the land. Don't go berry picking, antler hunting.
Now, generally, if you're on the highway system and in a roadside pullout, and there are no signs that say "Do not camp here," then generally it is allowed to camp there. What we're really referring to is a little road that may go off the highway a small amount,
or
a driveway or something like that. Stay off of those areas. But if there's something attached to the highway system that's a roadside pullout, you should be able to camp there so long as there's a sign that says camping's allowed, or if there's a sign that says no camping, then abide by that and do not camp there.
To make it really easy too, Otna has a app, a mobile app, and you can download that and it will populate exactly where you are and let you know if you're on or next to their land. So I just wanted to make that statement. We want to be respectful of the native lands up here. And Otna seems to be the biggest one that does a really good job of posting their land.
They do.
So
they're very proud of it, as they should be.
Moving down the Tok Cut-off, lots of beautiful places to stop, pull over.
Like about 10 miles down, there's a spot we like to stop at and see if we can find moose.
There's some state rec areas.
Mm-hmm.
Also, halfway down the Tok Cut-off is the northern road for Wrangell St. Elias National Park.
Nabesna Road.
And it's called the Nabesna Road. It's just in the little township on the map you'll see called Slana. And right when you come off the road there, about maybe a quarter of a mile, is a ranger station. And I highly suggest stop in, say hello, get the scoop of that road, the Nabesna Road. There's some beautiful, beautiful free camping.
There is. Absolutely amazing.
Inside the national park, around mile 17, 18. There's several great little campsites with picnic rings.
And then further in, there is a actual designated campground.
Yes.
Which is actually a really nice campground too.
And right next to that campground, maybe by just a couple 100 yards, is a lodge. And I just want to let you know that the lodge does not have any RV parking. There's no services for the public there. It's solely for their lodge. They're really great people. And we met them at conference and we're like, you guys need to get some RV spaces in. So if they do that,
they understand that. Yeah,
we will let you know. But at this time, there's no services.
And just being as remote as they are, they can't provide services on a daily basis just because it would be too expensive for them to do.
And after about the lodge, you don't want to go much farther in any RVs. So if you do want to explore the Nabesna Road, park there at the state or the
campground,
the national park campground, and then drive in with a towed vehicle because there's some creek crossings, but great hiking in the area. Also, if you are bringing an ATV, make sure you stop at the ranger station.
You need to register.
You have to register your ATV because it's very restricted as to where you can drive.
And I believe it's very restrictive as to the size of ATV as well. They restricted to mainly just four-wheelers. Side-by-sides are oversized for most of their trail systems out there. So it's just four-wheelers that you'd be able to use in that area.
But I know we have quite a few people asking or thinking about bringing up their ATVs. So just wanted to put that out there as well.
And the end of the road is a mining area. It is a private area. There are some hiking trails, but pretty much not much there.
Yep. As you said, small community.
Small community. I
but
mean,
it's all...
I wouldn't even call it a community. It's more of a residence or two.
Well, I think there's about 10, but regardless,
Maybe.
yeah, there's nothing open to the public at the end of the road, but still it's beautiful to drive. Moving back out on the Tok Cut-off, headed southbound towards Glennallen. You're going to go through a little native village called Chistochina. Great little gift shop, a little cafe there, one or two, I believe. We've never really stopped, so I can't give much details. I just know it's a cute little community. And if you have the time and want to stop, please do. They would love to see you.
I have read that there's some pretty interesting history in there, but we haven't stopped to actually take in the history, but that Chistochina area has some interesting things.
We try to leave some adventures still open for us to do. So we can
You can't do everything in 1 year.
Keep it fresh for you all the time. Leading back down, just before you get to the Richardson and Glennallen, you're going to come into the little tiny hamlet of Gakona. And again, there's just basically a roadhouse or two there, a couple campgrounds. Again, not much on the Tok Cut-off, but it's definitely your easiest and fastest way to get you to South Central, meaning Anchorage, Kenai, etc.
It does take you through some really beautiful tundra and swampy areas, and actually through a mountainous pass area. It is really a pretty drive. I really do like that drive.
Yep.
A lot.
Amanda asks, are national parks kind of like our provincial parks? And I would say, Amanda, this particular one that I just spoke about up off of Nabesna Road would be like a provincial park.
Right.
It's very rustic with no services or amenities. However, our big parks like, say, Denali is more like a Banff or Jasper.
I was thinking the exact same.
Or Yellowstone down in the U.S., in the lower 48, things like that. But the one I'm specifically talking about on Nabesna, yes, that would be more like a provincial park. Very limited services. It's in the middle of nowhere, 30 miles down a dirt road.
No power, no water, vault toilets, no firewood offered, but it is beautiful.
Yes.
Highly recommended.
So once you get down to Glennallen, this is kind of another junction.
Right. Some people refer to it, locals refer to it as the hub.
The hub. Well, the hub is the actual commercial area at the junction. Now, in truth, when the Tok Cut-off comes out to the Richardson, you are a few miles north of the junction. So when you hit the Richardson, you're going to either take a right and go up towards Delta Junction and Fairbanks, which we are going to resume that on our spotlight here in a moment, or you're going to take a left and go down towards the junction, which you would either at the hub, which is the junction, you would go straight down to Valdez or the southern part of Wrangell St. Elias National Park, or you will hang a right onto the Glen Highway, which will take you towards Anchorage and the Matsu Valley.
Well, Palmer and then Anchorage.
Yep. So the hub is, again, one of the busiest gas stations in Alaska.
And they know that they're the busiest gas station in Alaska.
And with that, you're gonna
pay more.
Actually, kind of everywhere in Glennallen, gas is super expensive.
Yeah.
But do not pass it up.
You need the gas.
You need. By then, you should know your gas mileage consumption. You will fill up in Tok. Just no doubt about it. Oh, we're back. Starlink has not been nice to us today.
The speed tests today have been very, very poor.
I don't see anyone saying comments, but our screen just blipped out. But I show we're still active.
I think we got 0.
Sounds good.
No, it doesn't sound good.
Well, that's our down, right?
We haven't got an upload.
Can someone type if you can still see and hear us? I show we're still live. It's still spinning.
I think Starlink died. Speed test failed.
You froze for a second or two. Okay.
Are we up now?
I think we're up. I can see you. Okay, they're talking to us.
Okay, good.
Okay, put your phone down.
I'm just trying to find my speed test again. Just see what we're doing.
Well, but you're using bandwidth.
Shh. Okay. Hardly anything.
Okay. Everyone's saying we're good.
Okay. I like it.
So the hub, back to the hub. It's going to be busy. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be hectic. There's going to be RVs parked every which way trying to get gas. Again, it's one of those pack your patience, get in line. And the nice thing, free popcorn in the hub. And I think really cheap coffee.
It is really cheap or almost free coffee too.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But others.
Look at our uploads are amazing.
23 up.
Wow, 7 down, but 23 up. When do you ever see that?
Also at the hub, there is a little food stand called Tok Thai. Kind of weird that you're not in Tok and it's Tok Thai, but
that's what it is.
Great Thai food. And it's all to go. Take cash though, because I believe she's only cash only, unless she's changed. And then there is a coffee hut there. And Ernesto's Mexican Grill. Really great Mexican food.
Yes, he was really great.
It's kind of Mexican and hamburgers.
Well, they have burgers too. Yeah.
What else about the hub? In town, there's also a couple of restaurants. There is an IGA in Glennallen, but I will let you know prices are even more expensive than up in Tok.
But if you need it, you need it. And they may have
exactly.
It's an IGA. It's a basic grocery store that should have almost anything you need.
There's an Ace Hardware just outside of town, which is great. We've had to utilize that for dog food. And there's another gas station in Glennallen, also extremely expensive. So sometimes what we do is when we stop at the hub, we only get maybe
like do a half tank or something like that, not quite a full.
Just enough to get us into the Matsu Valley.
Right. Because it'll be quite a bit cheaper in the valley.
One other word of note about Glennallen. It is a village ran by the Native Corp. Therefore, it is dry. So if you're looking for alcohol, there are liquor stores outside of town limits that you can get liquor, but you're not going to find it in town center. Neither are you going to find it at the restaurants or the cafe.
Right.
So this was something that we kind of spaced about, and we had our rally just outside of Glennallen. And for folks that kind of forgot, they're like, "Oh, you want your nightcap or your
your
beer."
evening deal.
So if that's important to you, either stop outside of town or do it in another town. Checking messages here. Yeah, all these we can hear you.
Good. What's that on there?
Oh, it's Sandy and George saying they can't wait to register for the rally.
Oh, yeah, I can't wait for that either.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. We're gonna be able to love on Glennallen a lot this summer with our rally again. Let's see, what else do I have for Glennallen? Is there anything else you can think of? There's several RV parks in the area.
Several.
Our favorite again is our rally hosts Tulsona Wilderness Campground, but they are about 13 miles west outside of town. So they're not in Glennallen proper, but there are one or two RV parks right in Glennallen. Okay, so now we're going to go back out to the junction, and we're going to head north.
So the junction, we're going to go. Oh,
we're on the Richardson from the Tok Cut-off.
Now we're going to go north.
Highway 4, which is the Richardson. And so we're going to go back to the Tok Cut-off at that junction, and we're going to head north. Now, this is where you're going to actually cross through the Alaskan range. You're going to gain elevation, and at this point, you are about 150 miles south of Delta Junction, your next really main town of civilization and businesses. Through that area, you're going to see a couple of roadhouses that you can stop, get ice cream, get expensive fuel, some lodging.
Some lodging and
there are
basic
some
food services, but nothing to be
just roadhouses. A roadhouse is just like a place that you can stop and sometimes have lodging for people, meaning hotel, motel, think motel rooms, light fare food, or maybe small convenience supplies. There's several recreation campgrounds. Again, very rustic, no amenities, but beautiful locations.
One of our favorites is the Summit Lake area. Up off the Richardson.
Yes.
Well, we're not there yet.
Well, as you're going up, if you're looking at your map, the next dot you're going to see is finding it. Here we go. You're going to see the Denali Highway.
Oh, no, that's Paxton.
That's in Paxton. Now, even though it says Paxton, there are no services in Paxton, really. There used to be an old lodge. It's been shut down for years, unfortunately. But along within the first 30 miles of the Denali Highway, there's the Tangle Lakes Resort. We've stopped there and had pizza.
Really good.
And they have a little cafe and convenience store there. And farther down the road at about mile 60, I'm going to guess.
Getting down there now.
Well, I want to give some love to McLaren River Lodge. Another nice little place you can get something, nice hot meal.
And really, they have a really good cabin system there at McLaren River Lodge as well.
And fun jet boat tour rides on a jet boat. And it will go up the McLaren River to a glacier. But getting back out to the highway, you're going to go up and over Isabel Pass. This is where we actually held our rally in 2022. Lots of big open space to boondock there. That's one of our favorite spots. To camp. So again, it's an old pipeline camp from when they constructed the pipeline back in the 70s.
You can park in a way that you can have a view of a glacier.
It's absolutely amazing.
Up there in the mountains.
And for your information, it is, and I'm going off my memory, it is mile
86 or 186.
No. 197.
197
or 97.
It's the Summit Lake area.
Just Google Isabel Pass, and it will be off from the Richardson to the east, to the right. There's an old airstrip. You can park on it. Just be cautious of nails.
Yeah. Watch for fire pits.
Arctic Man came back last year, so it's being utilized again in the winter for a snow machine event. So pallets get burned. So just kind of do a walkthrough before you drive your rig so you don't end up with a flat tire. Just speaking from experience. And then from Isabel Pass, it's about 60 miles to Delta Junction.
Right.
Delta Junction, again, this is the end of the Alcan. If you had gone straight in Tok and not taken the Tok Cut-off. So we've done basically 2 legs of the triangle. Delta Junction, you're going to find, again, more fuel, some car washing available, the museum at the end of the road, some...
I believe they're still rebuilding their grocery store.
No, it's open now.
Is it open now?
It's a Three Bears.
Oh.
I believe Three Bears came in. They now have a Three Bears gas station there as well. The Fire has a restaurant there. We use them. They have a food truck that is mobile between Delta and Fairbanks. Really, really great Mexican food.
It was a really good food, yes.
There's a couple of campgrounds in Delta Junction as well. 30 miles. Real quick. I'm squirreling.
Where are you going?
From Delta, we're going to kind of head back to Tok real quick, and then we'll jump back to Delta and go into Fairbanks.
Down to Gristle River?
Yeah. So from Delta Junction, about 30 miles east on the Alcan, is a huge bridge called the Gristle River, and there's a wayside. It will be in your milepost. And the wayside... If it's not flooded,
it's an old Army Corps of Engineers camp, right?
No,
was it Army Corps?
No, it's just it was an old campground, like
old
state
campground.
rec that they no longer used. So then it turned into a free wayside parking. The campground is a little overrun,
a lot overrun,
but you can stay the night there for free. We walked out on near the river's edge. And there's a couple of spots that you can park right along the river.
This is definitely a moment to walk and not just drive your rig out that road. Make sure it is accessible to any RV or motorhome you may have.
If you look on our past playlist from our 2017 travels, you'll actually look for where Gary's, believe the thumbnail, Gary's on our ATV.
I'm on my 4-wheeler in the river.
Yeah, and Gary was playing around and may have rolled over his ATV on camera. But
so
it's kind of funny. But that was a camping spot. It is a gorgeous spot if you can get it.
It's one of those that I like I said before, I highly recommend you stop in the wayside area and walk to the river's edge to see if you can actually drive there.
Yep. And be what am I trying to say?
Cognizant of water flow.
That's exactly the word I was looking at. Because it is a very, very, very large braided river. And sometimes, especially, well, it depends.
Well, in the 3 or 4 days,
overflow its banks.
It can overflow the banks, but in the 3 or 4 days that we were there in 2017, it had changed a heck of a lot where the river was flowing. So it
got
moved.
smaller, but then it got bigger.
But then it got bigger too.
Because when we were there, it was over 80 degrees.
It got hot.
So again, remember how I said things can get really warm because you're on the north side of the mountains. Fairbanks,
I think it was actually 90.
Yeah, I mean Fairbanks, that side of the mountains can get super, super hot, depending on the year. Of course, it depends, but it's spectacular. Between there and back to Tok, there's a couple of state rec areas again that you can camp, fish, hike. Again, there's
quite
more
a few
native
lakes
lands
in the area.
But yeah, there's some stocked lakes if you like to dip a line. Just pay attention to the signage and respect the signage.
Yep, exactly.
Anything else on that back
I mean, I was going to say Jan Lake, but that was one of those areas that is kind of questionable as to The sign wasn't there, but the sign was broken, but the sign didn't say anything about
The
no.
sign was there, and I actually, so he's talking, there's a little lake called Jan Lake in the Dot Lake area. It's actually free public access, but it's day use only. The signage at that time, and keep in mind this was 8 years ago, it didn't make it clear if we could park there or not. So I contacted Fish and Game, and that's where I learned it was a day use only.
Then on the other hand, if it doesn't say no,
I did the right thing, and
if
I
it doesn't say
contacted
no,
Fish and Game.
he went above and beyond.
Anyways,
Anyway, no, the Dot Lake area, there are some actual recreational areas available at the Dot Lake area, and that's a nice place to stop too. But I think we can continue on up from Delta Junction.
hold on. I want to make sure I don't miss
Okay.
anyone's
More comments?
Dawn says, "Did you know Tok to Glennallen, and Glennallen is 138 miles, 276 miles. Tok to Palmer. Tok to Glennallen
Tok to Glennallen
is 138. Yes,
and then Glennallen to Palmer is 200 and change.
Tok to Palmer is 276.
Okay.
So that 276 number is a reason why we always recommend stop at the hub.
And get fuel.
Because I know, for example, when we were towing up here in our Ram 3500, I could not have made 276 miles. I was averaging around 230. So know your mileage.
Lead foot.
And I was not a lead foot. Let's see. Anything else here? Madison says the pipeline runs close parallel to the Richardson Highway.
That
and
is
it does.
actually a really kind of a cool, when you drive the Richardson, you do see the pipeline a lot.
And there's quite a few different places
Mhm.
that you can stop and get close and see it.
Right.
All the big informational signs about the pipeline are up in Fairbanks, but you can't
You won't see much
it.
informational stuff about that later on.
Another thing, we are likely going to skip fueling in Glennallen since it's less than a half a tank from Tok to Palmer,
There you
which
go.
they're in a big motorhome.
Yep.
So, yeah, with our motorhome, we can keep going through. But if you're
Mhm.
in like a truck camper or towing a camper, your truck mileage is going to be very different. Another quick question: is there better fuel costs in Valdez than Glennallen? No.
Valdez is another one of those places that at the end of the road.
End of the road, so they can
And
charge
they
whatever
charge a
they
lot.
want. But we will talk about that when we go down to Valdez in April and talk that area. But no, I would say Glennallen and Valdez would be similar.
There's also the Copper Center that has a little bit of fuel, which would probably mirror the Glennallen prices.
Okay, let's keep
Okay,
going.
so
Back to Delta Junction. I
Yep.
see it is 5:53, so we are
we're on target.
What we kind of decided tonight is that we were going to go to North Pole,
Mhm.
and then in our next live, which will be in 2 weeks, it's the Parks Corridor. So we'll start in Fairbanks and work our way south down to
Talkeetna?
Cantwell and
Mm-hmm.
Talkeetna, because there's not much commerce in between there. So we'll really dive in and focus on Fairbanks
Sure.
in 2 weeks. But
North Pole.
get up from Delta Junction to North Pole, it's only about what, 90 miles?
90, 100 miles? Not very far.
Not very far.
Nope, an easy day trip.
It's a little frost heavy,
Mhm.
but again, you'll be an expert by then by spotting the frost heaves.
Right.
There are quite a bit, several, what am I trying to say? State rec areas that you can
Mhm.
park and camp and recreate at. Lots of hiking, canoeing, and some
There's
small
some
lakes.
small lakes and small rivers and streams around there that you can play with.
You're also going to be following up that whole stretch, the Tanana River.
Mhm.
That is a braided river. It's a fast river. You need to be if you have a kayak or something like that, be very cautious. It's a swift flowing river.
Yes.
Let's see. There's not many
there's not a whole bunch.
services
No, there's not.
between Delta and North Pole. You're going to pass through Eielson Air Force Base, which is really neat. It's home. We have F-35s,
F-35s. Yep.
the brand new F-35s, and you drive right by the runway.
You see them on the runway. You're not supposed to take pictures, but you see them on the runway.
It's pretty spectacular. If you're like me, and I love airplanes, it's pretty neat. And then once you pull in the North Pole, I mean, there's some great camping at the Chena Lakes Recreation area that's ran by the city of North Pole.
Bring your bug spray.
Yes, it can be buggy. This is also where a lot of the locals go swim in the lake.
It's a great lake system. It really is beautiful. I mean, it's warm enough to swim in the spring, in the early summer, and people recreate via kayaks and canoes and such like that quite often up there. Nice campground. We really enjoyed it.
Yep, I agree.
And then it brings you into North Pole. So, I mean, you got to go see Santa's house while you're there, and the reindeer.
Food wise, there are quite a little mom and pop restaurants in North Pole. We were just there in October.
It was October.
Found really good Chinese food called pagodas. There's also a really neat little diner.
The diner there, the Silver Diner.
It's like one of the.
It's a dining car.
It's
or something. It's a train car.
I think it is a train car.
Yeah, it's a train car.
It looks like an Airstream because it's all aluminum.
Right.
It's called Little Richard's Diner.
It looks really good.
So again, really great, inexpensive hamburgers, but really great quality.
There's also, is it a Cars or a Safeway up there?
There is a Safeway.
Safeway, yeah. Which is in the same parking lot as the Chinese food place.
Yeah, a lot of there's a big roundabout in North Pole, and everything like the post office.
I was going to say, if you have that special letter that you want to be mailed off to somebody, you can get it postmarked North Pole, Alaska, at the post office there and have it mailed down south.
I put on here, explain coffee huts.
Oh.
Being that we grew up in Washington State,
Mocha Moose?
We are used to coffee stands everywhere.
Drive up style coffee stands.
Here in Alaska, they are quite popular, but if you're coming from a part of the United States that is not used to coffee stands, you're going to find them everywhere. And it's just little itty bitty, like 10-foot by 20-foot drive up. I don't want to say shack, but
it's a
hut. It's a coffee hut
building.
And you can usually get breakfast items, coffees, milkshakes, your jet teas, chai teas. And so it's very, you're going to see those everywhere, especially, I mean, there's maybe one or two in Tok. There's one in Glennallen at the hub, I know for sure.
2 or 3 in North Pole.
But I know in North Pole, that's when you're going to start seeing coffee huts.
A bunch of them in Fairbanks.
Yeah, and there's a bunch
everywhere
down
else
here.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a thing you're going to see all over Alaska.
Drive up coffee. It's awesome.
So
we love it.
I'm going to just see here any other questions as we round out the hour. Madison says, be aware that between Glennallen and Palmer, you're crossing the Alaska Range.
Right.
Well, actually, you're not. You're staying to the south. But it's
still very mountainous.
It's very mountainous because you're going through the Glen Canyon.
So Glennallen to Palmer, that would be the Talkeetna mountain range that you're going.
You're actually in between.
Driving south of
2 mountain ranges. You got the Chugach Range and the Talkeetnas, and the Glennallen between Glennallen and Palmer. The Glen Highway is kind of staying in the valley between of those the 2 mountain ranges. But yes, it's very hilly, and you will lose some gas mileage.
So when you are traveling from Glennallen to Delta Junction on the Richardson Highway,
you're going
will take you over
the
Alaska Range.
And the pass there at its most, I think, is around,
I want to say 3,000.
3,800.
3,800. Yeah, it's not too high, but it's significant.
Because the highest range,
Adigan Pass is 42.
The pass there at McLaren
Oh,
is
right.
around 44.
Right.
And then, yeah, up on the Brooks Range is like 48.
And that's the highest one.
Our passes are not huge up here. A lot of people think, oh, Alaska, big mountains, big passes, but they're not. They average in the 3,000
But you have to
range.
consider latitude versus elevation.
Exactly.
Yep.
Let's see here. Rick Larson, let's pop
Mhm.
you up.
What you
I'm
got?
trying to figure out where to go first when I arrive near Alaska in late June. Should I do the Dempster Highway first or southern Alaska? I'm worried about the best weather versus timing to see bears.
I would go into Alaska first, and then the Dempster later in the year. My personal.
So bears are going to start once the fish start running, and you're not going to see the bears pretty much up the Dempster.
Nope.
I mean, you might see grizzlies, but if you're really here to come see the bears, you want to be in Alaska starting late June and July is and early August is any time frame from there you can see bears.
Yep.
The Dempster, again, that's the Arctic, so things are waking up, but things are warm. Again, it's amazing. The sun is very close, and so it beats down and warms things up. Now, warm might be 50, but believe it or not, snow might be melted. You might just have to play it by ear. It really depends. I mean, we have had record-breaking snow this year. We had record-breaking snow staying on the ground last spring.
Yeah.
So it's really hard to tell what it's going to do. We will be updating you on the group page to let you know how things are melting, how things are shaping up. We've got some people over in Whitehorse that can help us with road reports over there on the Dempster. So we'll keep you updated. Most definitely. Dave says, great info. Thank you.
Hey, thanks, Dave.
And Rick, no question is too much off topic, so don't worry.
Not at all. Please ask any question. We'll be glad to answer.
And Big Family Expedition is asking, is the rally kid friendly?
Absolutely. Yes, it is. Bring them on
They have
over.
6 kids.
Oh, they'll have a great time.
I think we had around 8 kids last year.
There's a river that runs through it, and there are inner tubes that you can float on.
And I will say our campground hosts at Tulsona, they have a whole bunch of kids themselves. They're a big family. And they specialize in kids. That's why our rally is from Sunday to Thursday, because on weekends, they do themed weekends for all the kids that come up from Anchorage and surrounding areas. And so we're going to have a whole host of kids activities for the kids that do come. Now, keep in mind, there'll be way more adults than kids, but the kids will be entertained. Kathy, the campground host, she did such a wonderful job with our kiddos.
She knows how to manage folks of all ages.
Yeah, I mean,
she does great.
You'll send them off and they'll have activities all day long, and you can still have some grown-up time, so it's kind of nice.
It's a great place.
It is. All right. And Madison says the grizzlies will follow the 40-mile herd, which unfortunately
that's the caribou herd.
Running out.
They've canceled a lot of hunts on that herd.
Well, they canceled our hunt, which can hopefully help restore the herd.
Bring numbers back. Yeah.
All right. Well, guys, it has been an hour hanging out with you. We want to thank you so much for joining us for this Monday Night Live. Next, in 2 weeks, I think that's the 20th.
Oh.
2 weeks from tonight, we are going to talk about the Parks Corridor Highway. So we are going to deep dive into Fairbanks, and then we're going to go down the highway towards Cantwell and probably end up around Talkeetna or Petersville.
Ooh.
And then in February, we have the Matsu Valley. So that's going to be...
That's home.
That's home for us. So Willow, Houston, Wasilla, Palmer. And then
Butte.
At the end of February, we're going to talk about Anchorage from Eagle River to Girdwood.
Nice.
And then in March, we're going to do the Kenai.
The Kenai may take 2. Is it one?
I have it for 1. We'll have to see.
Play it by ear, but there's a lot going on a Kenai.
I know I have the schedule in some posts up, but we've got content to get you through April, so be sure to look us up every first and third Monday of every month, except January. We're delayed a week because of New Year's.
The
Eve.
holidays, you know,
New
we
Year's Day.
have to enjoy the holidays.
Yep. So thank you again.
Thank you, guys.
Hey, what's the score?
Hey, so we're Michigan 20, Washington Huskies 13. So Michigan's gonna maybe pull this one off.
So all our
right.
Michiganders,
Yep.
congratulations.
You know, and it is hard to root against a Washington team, but the
I don't
Cougars are our team.
I've never been a Husky fan.
No, I haven't either.
So go Cougs.
So yeah,
All right.
Michigan's
Thanks for
pulling this one off.
watching. We will see you in 2 weeks for our next Monday Night Live. Until then,
See you
Pauhana.
next. Pauhana.
Pauhana.
You're bringing back old.
Why not?
All righty, guys.
All right.
Pauhana.
Good night, guys.